Ugh, I am nervous. Ugh, I am nervous. Okay, hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. I'm getting my sneakers on, rads, to head to the gym because I need to do 23.2. And it is Thursday. I usually do the open workouts on Friday, but I have some family coming into town for just like 2 days, and I could do it Sunday or Monday, but I don't want to wait until then because then I have to think about it. Plus, what if something happens? I work Sunday and Monday. What if I get called in to work early and they're like, we need you to come in, and I can't get to the gym? What happens if my car breaks down? I don't know. All these things could happen. I would just rather do it and then I can redo it on Sunday or Monday if I need to. I don't want to, but I could. This workout is a bunch of shuttle sprints and a bunch of burpee pull-ups. Funny thing is, I thought 23.1 could have had burpee pull-ups in it. I actually predicted that. I think 23.1 is going to be 7 minutes of burpees to a pull-up. Turns out they're not in 23.1, they're in 23.2. I just don't know how I'm gonna do on this workout. Shuttle sprints, I've not done a ton of those since the quarterfinals last time, and burpee pull-ups, I haven't done a ton of those either. I have done them, but not often. I don't remember the last time I did them. So don't really know what to expect from this workout, and because I'm going on Thursday, I don't have a lot of time to, research what it's like, because a lot of people haven't done it yet other than the announcement. So I guess I'm the guinea pig for all of you. Hopefully you'll see this video maybe before you do the workout, and I'll be able to give you some insight on how it went. I finished 23.1 and was in the 94th percentile, which is great for getting to quarterfinals. This workout, the B portion, this is 23.2A and B. A is those shuttle sprints and burpees. B is a 1 rep max thruster. That's not going to be as good for me. I'm not a great squatter, so not super excited about that one. It's probably gonna be my worst score of the open, we'll find out. But maybe I should push a little bit harder on the first half because the second half is just not where I excel. We'll see, I'll let you know. Carson! Oh, he's at the top of the steps. Maybe I'll come down and say hi. Carson, come on. Say hi to the vlog. Say hi to the vlog. Hi, vlog. Wish me luck on the workout, okay? Wish me luck. Okay, off to the gym. Okay, welcome back to another little voice recording. What you just saw was a false start because the guy who was doing my timer didn't realize it was a 10-second countdown. So he was like, go, after you click the button, but then there were 10 more seconds. So you start on the opposite side on your far line, then you run the 25 feet to these first 5 burpee pull-ups. That's something important. If you didn't read your rules or if you don't go to an affiliate, just make sure you know that. That's pretty major part of this. You do 5, and then I jumped off. I was worried that I wasn't behind the line when I started, so I walked back real quick. Always got to start behind the line. And now, as I'm doing these shuttle runs, the owner of the gym, Craig Howard, is over here giving me some tips from another athlete who had went right before I got here. So I did the workout. Like I said, this is Thursday, and it's like 3 hours after it was announced. So I have very little data when I'm doing this. And what Craig is telling me is that he saw my first 5 burpee pull-ups and how I was doing them more strict. He was suggesting do that because it's going well right now. But if you change to a kip, jumping up from the burpee onto the bar and then kipping into a pull-up, that might bring my heart rate down later on when I need my heart rate to be a little bit lower as I keep going and suffering through this workout. So there's a lot of shuttle runs. It's 10 each time. I was definitely not counting. I am just sort of moving and trying to keep moving. Something I was trying to think about during these shuttle runs was running in more of a straight line and not doing like a circle at the end, just trying to make the shortest distance. I feel like that kind of goes out the window throughout this workout, but that is something to think about. Still doing that strict pull-up. So this is probably a really good method for people who are good pullers and probably going to favor men over women because men just tend to have a little bit better of an upper body pull than women do. But this was working for me. This is not even the pull-up bar I usually use when I work out. It's shorter than the one I like when I'm doing a WOD, but it is just above my reach, and that works out really well for this workout. So again, I made sure my feet were behind the line before I started these shuttle sprints, and I feel like I'm still moving fairly fast. Gotta take that shirt off. It's half off now. CrossFit, no shirts. We don't like our shirts. So I took that shirt off. Keep on running. I don't feel like I was dying yet now, but I think I was starting to realize this is going to feel really, really repetitive. By the way, I am doing this while a class on the other side of the room is doing a totally different workout. So I'm the only person in the room doing this, but there is another workout going on. And that's why if you see the clock above the rig, it's a little bit different than my clock because they were doing an 18-minute workout and this is a 20-minute workout. So I needed a little bit more time. But still, I feel like I'm keeping a fairly good pace on those shuttle sprints, but we're only a couple minutes in. As we get farther into this workout, those shuttle runs definitely hurt more. And that guy over there is trying to set up my clock so that I can see it. But again, just trying to move, making sure I'm getting those 3 points of contact. So on the first run, you don't need to touch the ground right after you finish your burpee. And on the last rep, when you're about to start your burpee, you don't have to touch the ground like I just did there. But other than that, you do have to make sure you're doing a 3-point touch each time you run. Still doing those pull-ups, just trying to get my chin just above the bar. I think you can kind of see it there getting over. And I wonder, eventually I do start doing some kips. I'm not sure when I started doing that. This is definitely the faster way to do it, just jumping directly into that pull-up and kind of strict pull-upping it. It's just a much harder way to do it. I also heard some people talking about their backs blowing up a little bit on this from all the bending. I personally didn't notice that. Maybe I'll think more about it tomorrow. Oh, there you go. There is that first kip. I wonder if I stick with those. Oh, and I missed the bar. I think that's going to happen sometimes too. I didn't totally miss it, but I had to kip at that point because I just caught it funny. And then I went back to the strict because I feel like changing confused me a little bit. But I think you're going to have to utilize both of those, both a strict pull if that's something that's you can do, and a kipping pull. But that kipping pull is totally fine to use from the beginning. And on that strict there, I used my legs a little bit to push up. That's definitely something you should be utilizing too. And maybe I should have utilized that sooner. I think I started doing that just when my body started doing that naturally without thinking about it because I didn't have the data of having seen a lot of people do this to know that would be a smart move. But if you are doing that strict pull, maybe like bring your knees up a little bit as you pull to give you a tiny kip and a tiny bit of assistance into that pull-up. We're back on those shuttle sprints, as a lot of this workout tends to be these shuttle sprints. And I feel like I'm slowing down a little bit here. Part of my thoughts started to be, I think it probably started in that last set of burpee pull-ups. Do the pull-ups faster if you can, the burpee pull-ups, because if you're resting on the burpee pull-up, you're not doing anything. And if you run a little bit slower on your runs, you're still moving. So that crossed my mind while doing this and made me think, okay, I can run a little slower. You're not going to bring your heart rate down a great amount. It's just you're still running and you're bending over and running. But you can kind of recover a tiny bit and you're still accumulating reps and distance. So that would be my advice. If you can push through the burpee pull-ups, try to do those a tiny bit faster than maybe you want to, and then end up slowing down your run a little bit because at least you're still moving. Back to those burpee pull-ups. I remember at one point, my judge said to me like, oh, only 10 left. I'm like, 10? That's a lot of reps. I think it was like in the 25, I'd done 15. I don't think I am in the 25 yet. I think I'm in the 20. I probably should know where I am. But this workout gets confusing, even watching it to know where you are. I relied a lot on my judge. I was not thinking so much about my reps and counting them. I wanted to chalk up my hands, but I first tried to get a big set out. That way I was doing something. Sometimes you come back from those shuttle sprints, you just want to chalk up your hands immediately. But I tried to do a rep before I did that, anytime I would do that, because just getting a rep in, you just know that you're already getting through the set. And mentally, that's helpful. I do feel like watching this back, I did do a lot more of these jump strict pulls than this kipping that you just saw. But as I got into these bigger sets of 20 and 25, I definitely used the kip a little bit more. I think I had a funny jump on that one, and that's why that looked a little bit awkward. This is where it started to get hard. Oh, and my shoelace came untied. I forgot about that. I knotted it once there, and then I'm going to double knot it when I come down from this one, just because I didn't want to waste too much time messing with my shoes. But maybe that was a good rest. I just tried to like move a little bit faster for the next couple reps just to make up that time. I'm like, you just got to rest on a shoe tie. Now it's time to move. I had a really good judge. She was counting my reps and keeping me informed, which is always super helpful. Sometimes you'll have a judge that just counts every couple of reps, and that's not my preference. I mean, they're counting in their head, but they don't count it out loud. I prefer someone counting out loud the entire time. And I just tried to keep moving the whole time. That was really the focus. So I think that was the set of 20. So now we are getting ready for the set of 25. I am 8 minutes or 8.5 minutes about into the workout. And just kind of chugging along. See, this is where I slowed down. You see that slow down? I just was getting a little bit tired, and that was kind of the thought. I can rest a little bit here and pick it up on the burpees. But this looks slow now that I watch it back. Maybe I should have ran a little bit faster. But I do think that this is a strategy to go just a tiny bit slower when you're suffering on this, because you're still moving. You're still going somewhere. Even though it might feel slow, you're moving. And that's something, because sometimes when you rest on the other things, you're not going anywhere. You think you're resting for a short amount of time, but it's longer than when you watch it back, it's a lot longer than you thought you were resting. It's 5, 10, 15 seconds, and you're not doing anything. So at least if I rest a little bit on the shuttle sprints by going slower, I am still accumulating reps. I don't think I knew what to expect in this workout, and I just kind of attacked it the best I could. I am doing a little bit more of a circle at the end of this as opposed to going in a straight line, which isn't ideal, some of these shuttle sprint reps, but that's just fatigue. Back to these burpees. This is 25, and this is where it got real. And I started with those kipping because I was just fatigued, and this allowed me to keep moving. And what I didn't want to do is stare at the bar or stare at the ground. So at least I am getting some reps in, even if they're a little slower than the pull. That was a strict pull one. Probably wasn't worth doing. It looked pretty hard. And then I missed the bar a little bit there awkwardly and went back to the kip. But this long kip, even though it's a little bit longer than the strict pull, is definitely a way to keep your arms less fatigued and to keep moving, which is probably the most important part of this workout, is to keep moving. My guess is men are going to have a higher score on this workout than women. I know that's usually how it goes, but it's a big pulling workout, and men tend to have a better pull. So that's my guess. So if you're a man watching this, maybe consider getting a couple more reps than what I'm getting, or about what I'm getting, depending on what your fitness level is. And this set felt long. This is the set where I got to 15 and my judge there told me I had 10 left. And I was like, 10? That's still a ton more reps. But I am pretty much keeping moving, except for when I go for these chalk breaks. But for the most part, I think I did a pretty good job at not taking super, super long rests and keeping moving to some degree, because that's really what you have to do on these workouts, is just keep moving. I think I'm trying to do a couple of the more strict reps just to get done a little bit faster. Again, this was the thought process of get back to that run, because you can just run slow. And I think I realized at this point that I was going to be able to get into the 30s, and I didn't want to get stuck on the run, because if you get stuck on that run, half a rep doesn't count. Like, you can't get 25 feet of it. So it just makes it a little bit harder for those reps to count, and they're longer feeling reps, where if I got back to the burpee pull-ups, I'm able to, I felt like, get a little bit better of a score. So I wanted to get back to that 30 set. So I was trying to get through these 25, but let me tell you, they were not easy. I was resting a bit on the ground there during the burpee, if you can tell there, more than I was at the beginning. But I just needed it. And again, doing that kip, because at this point, just kind of needed that time to rest my arms a little bit. Back to the run, and that was the least enthusiastic start to the run I've seen so far. I'm like, damn, I gotta do this. Oh my God, so slow on the turnaround. I was hurting here. And when I watched this back, I'm like, maybe if I was to redo it, I should be going a little bit faster here. Maybe if you're to do it, you should be going a little bit faster here. But I was definitely hurting here, and not having anyone else around me doing it made it a little bit tougher to know where I was, know if I was doing well or not doing well. I just really didn't have any grasp for where I was this workout, other than the fact that I was uncomfortable. And my runs are definitely not very straight anymore. They're kind of, the shortest path is a straight line. So if you want to run these shuttle runs as straight as you can, but as you get fatigued and as you get into that WOD brain where everything just turns to mush, it does get a little bit harder. But I did try to keep moving. I think I picked up this run a little bit compared to the very beginning of it, because I was looking at my time and realizing I didn't have a ton left, and I wanted to get to those burpee pull-ups and do them as fast as I can. You'll see that WOD brain come into play here in a second on these shuttle runs though. I don't know if this is the one. No, it is not. But wait, that was a spoiler. You're gonna see a pretty big mistake here. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, I just totally forgot to hit the ground. See, go back. I've done it literally so many times. More than probably 50 times, and I just forgot. But back to that strict pull-up format, because I was just trying to knock out as many as possible. I knew that the thruster was not going to be my strong suit. So I needed to do as well on this workout as I could. So even though these hurt and I did not want to do these as fast as I was, I knew that this was my only option, because the thruster is going to be likely my worst score of the entire competition, the entire open. So I had to go hard here, and I think I did a good job of trying to kick at the end here and just go as fast as I could on these last couple of reps, even though I was tired. And I got that last one in just another time. And now I'm like sitting on the floor because I needed a second to recover, which probably isn't the ideal position to be in. I also just asked my judge if I got over 100, because again, I had no idea where I was in this rep scheme. I feel like usually I'm a little bit more familiar with it after having watched a lot of people do it on Thursday. But because I was doing this 3 hours after the announcement, I just didn't even realize what my score was. And I'm sitting down, but just something you probably should do. Something I don't usually do, but I was just really kicked it at the end of that burpee pull-up session. So I needed a second just to take a breath. Now I'm walking over to this barbell. So I have this loaded at 87, which was probably too light, but I just wanted to know I could get a rep in. There you go. If you see those little white plates on the inside of the barbell, those are 1 pound plates. And I decided to throw those on just to give myself a little bit more of a different score than what most people are going to end up getting. Also, this is Craig coming in to tell me he wasn't sure if she could help me load my barbell, but you can have someone help you load your barbell. So that's what was happening there, which I appreciated. But I also helped because I wanted to get the weights on. So now I'm taking another attempt pretty fast, which probably should have started heavier, not taken as many attempts. I ended up taking 5 attempts. That was the second one, and that was 107. And I was going to go to 115. That was my goal, or 117, now that I decided to put these 1 pounds on the inside. But I changed my mind, so it was pretty good, pretty easy of a rep. So I went up to 122. And now I decided, since I took 2 reps and I had quite a bit of time left, to put my knee sleeves on and to put my belt on. So that's what I'm doing right now. I was listening to Savan's podcast, which I do a lot. He has some pretty good ones. And he had Chase Ingram on. And Chase Ingram was saying that he's not a fan of the single modality events. Like, this event counts as much as the Brady pull-up event and last week's workout. Just the thruster counts equal to those. And I'm not a super big fan of them either. But I always figured that was just because this is not my forte. But there is some argument to like CrossFit being more of a sport where you do multiple things well. And when it's a single modality, you just don't get to show that. So I'm not a big fan of it. But again, I just think part of that is because I'm not good at it. So I'm biased. But you got to play the game. And this is the game. And I just had to give whatever I could to get as good of a score as I could. So I don't think I've ever thrustered this much anyway. So I was happy with this. This is 122. There we go. Made that one. And then I went up by 5 pounds to 127. Took a little break here. Not as long as the last one. The last break was the longest because I was putting my knee sleeves on, so I took my shoes off. But let me know if you like the single modality tests. I just think they can be part of CrossFit for sure, especially at the games and at events where there are more scored events. But with only likely 4 scores this week, although who knows, we could get a part A and part B next week too. But with likely only 4 scores, it is a lot to have one of those scores, 25% of your placing, depend on one lift. But that's just my opinion. I'm probably biased because I'm not good at these. This is 127. So I was happy with that. That actually looks better than it felt. I try to do 132 next, I think, is the jump that I'm going for my last lift. And I try to take some time. My judge was really good at letting me know how much time I had left, which I appreciated, because sometimes you're just trying to rest and recover and you're not paying attention to the clock. So having a good judge that tells you what's going on, super helpful. And I did choose to use the belt for all this. I mean, this is 132 and my 1 rep max front squat is 145, I think. So we're at some pretty high percentages for a thruster. So just use everything you can, everything that's legal, which the belt and knee sleeves are. I did not put on my weightlifting shoes. I don't know if that would have made a difference. So here's my last attempt, and it just felt heavy, and there was just no way. I probably could have stood up the clean, but it was going to be grindy, which I just knew there was no way I was going to thruster that. Maybe I should have given it a better try. But again, I was hoping for 115, so 127 to me seemed like a pretty good score. I was happy. I was giving the coach a thumbs up to let him know that I am done and that he could turn the music down because the class's workout, like I said, was a little bit shorter than mine. And now this guy coming over thought that the workout was just 5 burpee pull-ups each time. No. Nope, it goes up by 5s each time. Makes it a little bit tougher. Let me know how you do. We got the... Hi. Hi. How are you? Good. Hi. One of those awkward moments where you're filming and everyone notices. All right, so I just finished the workout and I decided to come out here to talk to all of you because it is very loud inside. I was lucky that the owner of the gym, Craig Howard, was coaching the class, and he let me jump in on class and use the side of the room to do the open workout, because the only pull-up bar that was good for my height was in that room. We have other rooms, but none of the pull-up bars were good jumping distance for me, just out of reach, but not like super out of reach. So I feel super lucky that he let me do that. Thank you, Craig Howard, owner of Diablo CrossFit, for letting me do that. I got 135 reps on that first part. Because it's Thursday and not many people have done the workout, I have no idea if that's a good score, and I have no idea if I should consider doing it again after my family leaves on Sunday or Monday. But that is what I got, and those last couple reps were pretty hard. I definitely tried to do the burpee pull-ups all the way to the last second because I thought that was better for me than the thruster. Onto the thruster, I took 5 attempts and missed the last one. Probably smarter to take 3 attempts, but I decided to start it at 87, which is probably too light. I could do that for reps, but I just didn't know how I was gonna feel after this workout. I was hoping to hit 115, and I hit 127, which you probably just saw. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think this workout went as well as I could hope, not really knowing what to do, what to expect, or having anyone else's experience to learn from. But you can learn from this. Oh, they stapled it. How perfect. Okay, so I just treated myself to some Starbucks for finishing the workout and doing it before pretty much everyone that I would have compared my score to. I hope you got something out of this and learned something about the workout if you haven't done it yet. Also, my next video will be predictions for 23.3. So like last time, I would love to hear your predictions. Put them in the comments and I will use some of them in a video to come. I appreciate you all for watching. I appreciate you all for sharing your ideas with me. That's also really awesome and helps make these videos so much better. If you enjoyed this, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more fun CrossFit content from, you know, an everyday athlete. All right, appreciate you all. See you in the next one. Bye.